What's up, guys? It's Dwayne Griffin, a.k.a. Mr. Group Homes, with episode number 1 of Group Home Millionaires. Can you believe that? Hey, listen up, guys. I just really wanted to jump on this podcast to really give y'all some information about the word group home, you know, what type of people it stems around, and also the people who actually have a business in the group home era. So we're talking about real estate agents, wholesalers. We're talking about day program providers, people who work with compliance, all the above. So we really want y'all to tune into that and stay tuned, man. It's gonna be hot. Let's get it. So I really want to let everybody know exactly how I got started in the business, and I'm gonna break that down for you. So me growing up on a borderline of Cleveland and Warrensville Heights, in my neighborhood, a lot of infestation with drugs and crime. And so one particular day, I'm walking home from football practice and walking down the street, and just like in 1993, the 90s, Boys in the Hood era, Menace to Society, that was intricate movies and growing up in the 90s, and I saw this car approaching me. And I was dead tired from already, working out and going to football practice, and this car pulled up on me. And walking down the street, it kind of came up slowly on me, and so I gripped my book bag real tight, right, guys? And my brother always taught me to go run the opposite of the car. So I'm walking down the street, and the car slowly pulled up on me. What's crazy is it looked just like the red car with the black tinted windows and Boys in the Hood that shot Ricky, right? So I'm walking down the street, man. This car is slowly pulling up on me. And I tighten up the book bag because I look at the escape route. I already got my plan. I'm about to roll on them. So they slowly get back. I step back, and I'm about to bounce. And the dude said, "My man, you know where 19209 Lonebrook is?" It was a damn pizza man. Heart was beating like a drumline band in the HBCU, man. But it was just a pizza man. So moving forward, told him what it was down the street, kept walking. And so kept walking down the street. Now, this was popular in the 90s also, the dice games on the street. So you got the dice game. I seen the dice game on the left, and on the right, I see like a group of guys, and it was a whole bunch of dope boys in the neighborhood. And this dude, my dude, I ain't gonna say his name, but my dude, he had one of the freshest Monte Carlos in the city. Monte Carlo SS with the black and the orange guts with the orange piping in it. You know how that was, y'all. And so I saw them. It was like, "What's up, superstar?" So they used to call me that because I was a 3-year starter at Warrensville High School. And from my neighborhood, you can hear the announcers announcing the football games. And so, that was kind of like my little nickname in the hood. But, and I slowly said what's up to him. And I look in the crowd and I see somebody familiar that I knew. And this person was washing the car. And it turned out to be my father. And he was washing my dude's car for some money or maybe for some drugs. I'm not sure, but it wasn't a good look for me. And knowing that he could have came and got me from practice instead of me walking home. So that was, my father abused drugs growing up. So that's group home number 1, sober living. So I continue to walk down the street, right? And we have our family that lived across the street from us. Is very dear to us. They had what they called back in the days MRDD, mentally retarded, developmental disabilities. They took the MR out. Now it's just DD because we, as I guess normal people, say retarded too much and, man, stop acting retarded, or this retarded, that's retarded. That's offensive to them. That's like calling us the N-word, So they took the retarded out, but back in those days, you really didn't understand those people. You used to be running from those people in the neighborhoods. Anybody understand what I'm talking about? Right. But Uncle Shug was a adult with developmental disabilities. And one day, if anybody know anything about autistic adults, they're very structured. So if they don't have their water bottle, or if they don't get their toothpaste lined up in the same corner of the bathroom, it can trigger them to have a behavior, or it drives their nerves and their anxiety up a roof. If they can't wash that one red plate, it drives them up a roof. So this one particular day, my mom used to give Uncle Shug money for the vending machine where he worked at at the day programs. And so Uncle Shug didn't have his money. He knocked on our door, and just so happened I answered the door, and he was so upset. He forced his way in on me, and I felt like he was beating on my head and stuff. He knocked me over and was beating on me, scared me to death, man. Very strong. And Uncle Shug was an adult with developmental disabilities that nobody understood in the neighborhood. So here I am today. I service adults with developmental disabilities. That's two. Fast forward to 1999, I think I was about 16, maybe going on 17. My mom went to prison for, some, I believe, theft, I want to say. And she was serving like 6 months or something like that. And during that time, my brother had got killed. So when my brother got killed, it hurt the house very much because mom was gone, dad was abusing drugs, and me and my sister was just in the house. But moving forward, mom needed that rehabilitation when she came home. So, and I really don't think that she really had a chance to grieve from the passing of my brother. And at the same time, I don't think she fully understood, the type of household that we had. So that's number 3, halfway housing. So these are all like my upbringings that actually repeated itself in the later years. Just cracked 40 May 8th. Shout out to 40 balls for the old school players. But just cracked 40, man, and that was some of the past that really molded me. And yeah, that was like my past that really led me to this, and that's that. Right. So fast forwarding to maybe about 2008, 2009, I had just came home from my third school playing football and decided the NFL wasn't for me. Was working at the school districts, worked from Warrensville Heights, City Schools, Maple Heights, and Cleveland Charter Schools as well. During that process, when I was working at Cleveland Charter School, where I actually met my wife at 11 years ago, shout out to my baby girl, Bianca. But during that process, I met a young lady. Her son was actually in one of my classes that I was teaching. And she stopped me during dismissal and said, hey, I have this group home that you might want to take a look at. I think you'd be a good guy for this particular house. I'm like, cool, I can check it out. That's when, when I thought that 2 jobs was good, as far as income. My good mentor told me, Dwayne, 2 jobs is for 2 people. And so, but I'll talk about that later. But living in Sunny Slope Apartments in Maple Heights, and with my family of 2 at the time before my son came. And it was very convenient, right down the street from my apartment in Maple Heights on Center Road. And that was cool, man. I went there, started caretaking with the guys. It was 3 guys inside of the home at the time, and really enjoyed it. So I was picking up shifts there during the week. During the school year, I would do part-time, and then once we ended the school year, I pick up full time there. Did that for a long time, and then was working at Warrensville Heights, and I had a situation where I got into a physical altercation, maybe about 4 or 5 students that were graduating that attempted to what they did. They robbed my apartment, and not proud of the situation. Wish it all could have handled a lot better, but they say God don't work in mysterious ways. He works in a way exactly that he wants to. So with that situation coming about, my teaching license was suspended from the state of Ohio for life, and I had to get into a whole new career. And just so happened I had a part-time job, so that part-time turned into full-time. So I started from the very bottom of the chain that they had, which was what they call direct support professionals, where you actually work inside the homes and you watch the guys, take them on activities, log the different information down that you have to log, and you're out of there. Really enjoyed that a lot. Created some great memories with not only that house, but multiple houses. After that, I moved up to a house manager position. After the house manager position, I went to go work for the state of Ohio, Warrensville Developmental Center. And that's where it was a real good pay. I guess what they call a good pay at that time, working for the state. In that place, they force you on shifts depending on where your status was on the totem pole. And so my class that I came in with, we were all started third shift. And so I used to work on third shift, and I can't believe I used to sit outside of the individuals, it's like dorm. It's set up like a dorm. And I used to just sit outside their bedroom, and that was about it. And I filled out the paperwork, and I went home. And sometimes 10 minutes before the shift would come, it'll be this main phone call that'll come in and say, "Hey, we're forcing you to room number 9 or building 10." They used to force me to the day program, which I really appreciate, because at the day program, I use my skill set as an educator to help the guys read and write and do math skills. And I got forced so much, I really started enjoying it. At the same time, they hired me in full time to work at the day program now instead of doing third shift. So that was cool. So one day, shout out to Chuck Tone, that's my girl, but she's actually one of my group home students. And so now we chilling in the day program one day, and HR come in there, and they say, "Hey, we need to talk to you." And they like, "Hey, this news anchor called us about something about you lost your license at Warrensville, and we need to talk about that to see what's going on." I said, "Well, I lost my education license, but it wasn't nothing that was a criminal offense or anything of that nature." So I guess the news anchor mistaken Warrensville Developmental Center for Warrensville High School. So they made that call, and this disrupted Warrensville Developmental Center that much that, yeah, I had just bought my first house, and they snipped me, man. I could remember crying to HR like, "Man, y'all don't have no reason." They ran my name. "Y'all don't have no reason to do this, man. Please, I need this job. It's all I got." I never cried to a man so much, man. I could not believe, the times that you become so humble and have to do things like that. But nonetheless, they still let me go, and I wind up going back to the first job as a house manager underneath one of my good friends. Y'all gonna meet him on one of these podcast episodes because we're doing some great business out here. But came back as a house manager underneath him. Moved up real fast in the game, and was really doing good. Managed under about 15 people, 15 caseloads at a time, which is a lot. And you know, the employment thing in this direct care field is very crucial. And if you don't have that, you know, you're gonna be covering some shifts. So I had some call offs that I had to cover, and on this one particular night, I'm just, you know, it's third shift. I used to like third shift because it used to ease my mind sometimes, get my thoughts together, not the busy day. And so I was a third shift monster, by the way. And so I'm on this shift and I'm doing the notes, and I realize I look in the back of the books, right? And it's about 3 guys in this particular house. And I look in the back, and one of the guys, it said it has their budget. And it had my company name next to it. And it said like 110,000. I'm like, all right. Then I look at the second guy, knocked his out. Look at the second guy, 120,000. Had my company name next to it. I was all right. Third guy, 100,000+. I said, all right, that's 3 guys. I know 4 albums in 2 years. Yeah, I could do the math. So listen, I'm like, hold on, man. These guys make the company over $300,000+. I get paid $38,000, which I thought was cool. I had a salary. Sometimes I didn't have to go in, which I appreciated, but it started to be a little bit repetitive. So I'm like, man, they make $300,000+. I'm over 15 people. This ain't gonna cut it. This ain't gonna cut it. Because guess what? I have the relationships with these clients' parents. I have the relationships with the clients. I'm the ones taking them to their doctor's appointments. We're the ones that's setting up the house if they need a house. We was doing all that. But the man at the top was making all the money. I said, nah. So from that day, I started looking up the certifications. I got old YouTube videos, how to start a group home. I started looking up the certifications, how to serve those guys. Within 5 months, I found it out. 5 months. So each and every time that I went to do a shift, I had my laptop with me, and I have to this day. And I started getting those certifications done. Slowly but surely, I started getting my Medicaid number. I started looking at houses that I can potentially afford. I was just gonna take one of my tax checks and flip it. That's what I was on it, man. I was really overworked and underpaid, and I seen the disparities between the employees and the employers. I saw how some of the employees treated the individuals. I saw how the employees were being treated by the company. So I said, if I ever got a chance to get a chance to be in that position to employ people or to have some individuals be underneath my caseload, I'm going to do a lot different. And eventually, man, that's what I did, man. So almost 3 years ago, I left my job, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It ain't nothing. It wasn't gonna be that truck that was pulling up, bro. It wasn't gonna be that truck pulling up. I had me a minivan from the auction, man, that I used to have to jump with the jumper box every single time I left the house, and I used to have to fill it up with air because I had that real slow leak. I'm trying to tell you, man, I remember them days. And them vans are still in the family, but, you know, the days are different now. But I humbly say, man, I went, I did what I had to do. And one thing, man, my wife trusted me, man. I used to be bouncing downtown at the Velvet Dog, downtown Cleveland. This is a national podcast, so we got to let them know what. I bounced downtown at Velvet Dog for $200 a week, Saturday and Sunday. I remember bouncing for Baker Mayfield. I got the pictures, y'all. I got the proof. I remember the parade, bro. I was down there bouncing. I was working at the airport in the morning. I did my morning shift, and then I went downtown to bounce. So I was there. I was bouncing at that Panini's when they used to say, I was bouncing at that Panini's when they won the championship, and everybody was hanging on the traffic lights and stuff, man. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? That was good times, good humbling times, but I always had that vision, that character, man, that keep going. So moving forward, man, I started out again. I looked at my wife. We got that one last call off with the company. And think about it, y'all. I was going to cover first shifts. Can't take my kids to school. Second shifts, can't pick them up from school. And third shifts, can't spend the night in my own bed. Overworked and underpaid, man, which a lot of people can attest to, but what are you doing about it? I'm talking to y'all right now. What are you doing about it? I'm talking to people in the room, if that's you. What are we doing about it? What's the small steps you taking to get out that rat race? We got so much information right in front of us, but we're not applying it. People giving away the game for free, and we're not applying it because you're not disciplined. So, next week, guys, next episode, we're definitely going to get into how I got started, the pace that I started in the beginning, and how I slowly started to increase, and then some things happened. Nothing new to business owners and business folks, but we're going to break it all the way down to see if we can curve that for you. Stay tuned for another episode of Group Home Millionaires with Dwayne Griffin, Mr. Group Homes. Let's get it.